And for today, we are going to use bilingual, Bahasa Melayu and also English for this session. Thank you for joining us again. If you are participating in our program and our webinar last week, so this is the next session of our webinar for Mangrove Education. Yeah. And today we are very happy to have Dr. Annie from University Putra Malaysia to present the topic on the mangroves, what lives in our river. Jadi nama saya Wan Nozalika. My name is Wan Nozalika and I will be your host and moderator today. I'm from Malaysian Nature Society. I'm KPA Program Development Officer, and I'm glad to have my colleague Ms. Sashikala from MNS and Ms. Maya Liana from UPM to assist our webinar today. And before we go any further, I would like to remind to all of the attendees, adik-adik semua, today please mute yourself during the presentation. If you have any questions during the presentations, please keep it and raise it during the questions and answer session, Q&A sessions. Yeah, I will bring that up later, or if you have any questions, you can just put in the chat box, and then I will bring them up later during the Q&A session. So before we get started, I'm going to brief about our program. Let me share my screen first. Yeah. So our program is a collaboration between Malaysian Nature Society and University Putra Malaysia. One of the project initiatives in collaboration with TIN under the Asia at Connect program sponsored by the European Commission entitled Sustainable Aquatic Resource Management in Mangrove Ecosystem via Internet of Things application, MEITA. So our Mangrove Education Webinar Series aim to increase the awareness and knowledge of the mangrove ecosystem, the importance of its conservation and introduction to more efficient monitoring methods in mangrove forest conservation efforts through the use of technology. And we also have a quiz and essay competition in regards of this webinar. And this competition will be announced on 22nd September 2021 on the essay competition. And also, we will also announce another competition, quiz competition, which is on 6th October 2021. So on the on our fourth webinar. So this competition endorsed by Ministry of Education. For our today program, so we are going to have a talk and activity by Dr. Annie Christianus from University Putra Malaysia. And we will also have the Q&A session. After that, at 4:10, after that, we are going to have a briefing session, announcement of the competitions by Dr. Evelyn Lim from University Putra Malaysia. And lastly, we will end the program at 4:30 p.m. So before we go any further, let me just introduce our speaker for today, Dr. Annie Christianus. Dr. Annie is an aquatic biologist by training. She is the senior lecturer at Department of Aquaculture, Faculty of Agriculture and Research Institute of Bioscience, University Putra Malaysia. She obtained PhD in the field of aquatic biology from University Putra Malaysia. She led and participated in various research projects on culture, and reproduction marine and freshwater fish and involved in conservation of aquatic life. Other than that, she is also a member of the IUCN and an advisory member for the Ecological Research and Development Group, ERDG, a non-profit wildlife conservation organization founded in the USA in 1995, with primary focus on the conservation of the world for extant horseshoe crab species. Without any further ado, I would like to invite Dr. Annie to give her talk. Dr. Annie, are you, anytime you are ready?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Clearly?
Yes, very clear.
Right, that's very good. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Okay, thank you very much for joining us today. I'm Annie. I'm from UPM. I think Madam Coordinator and from the MNS, Ms. Zalika has introduced me just now. Okay, so, okay, let me share my screen first. Hang on. Okay. Yeah. Can you see my screen?
Yes, Doctor.
Is it clear?
Yes.
Clear, right? Okay. So today, I think we have one webinar from this series last week, right? Okay, from Dr. Audrey, which it covers on the mangrove on the terrestrial part. But today, myself and my team from the aquatic biodiversity, we will cover on the aquatic lives. Yeah. Okay. So the topic of our webinar today is what lives in our rivers. Okay. So for this today webinar, okay, we will have 4 topics. In fact, 4 topics. Okay. Okay. Which can you see the next slide? Can you see the next slide?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So there'll be 4 topics: aquatic lives, water resource, genetic diversity, and microplastic pollution. Okay. Each of these topics. Okay. For example, the first 2 topics, I will cover them. Okay. I will be doing the sharing with you for these 2 topics. But for the genetic diversity, we have our scientist, Ms. Atika. She's trained scientist in genetic. And also we will have Ms. Fatin, who will be sharing on the pollution of microplastic in the aquatic environment. She have trained in the what you call that study of pollution, in particularly heavy metals, and to further her career, she's have started some work on the microplastic study, yeah, in the aquatic environment. So without further delay, I think we have prepared a video for you. Yeah, we have prepared a video just to as a, what should I say, a warming up. Okay. Okay, don't worry if the video is like you feel it's too much. It just for us as a warming up. What actually we be covering in this webinar. Yeah. Okay. So I think I have to stop sharing first in order for the video to play. Yeah. Just hang on. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Okay, I have to hang on. Stop sharing. Okay. All right. I think the co-host, I think Miss Fatin, can you play the video? A short video of 3 minutes, yeah? Enjoy. Okay, thank you very much, Miss Fatin, for sharing the video. So I hope that keeps you all warm up for the sharing session. Yeah, sharing session. And I think we will take break. We will take a break from now and then along the sharing. You may ask questions if you do not understand those kind of things. Yeah. Okay. So I think, can I share now? Can I share the slide now? Okay. Let me share my slide first. Okay, right. Okay. Okay. Can you see my slide? Can you see my slide?
Yes, Doctor. Yes, Doctor. I can see it.
That's very good. Okay. Just hang on there. Okay. Let me see. Where am I? Right. Okay. Okay. So I will start the first topic. Okay. Before I start, I would like to just briefly inform, let you know that mangrove ecosystem itself is a very dynamic ecosystem. Okay, For us, we divide mangrove ecosystem into two parts. The two parts are the terrestrial, and the second one is the aquatic. Yeah. The first one is terrestrial, and the second one is aquatic. Okay, basically terrestrial means that anything in the ecosystem of mangrove on land, anything on the ground, regardless of animals, plants, anything that lives on the ground, that's what we call terrestrial. And when it comes to aquatic, aquatic means that anything that require their lives require water. Okay, anything aquatic. So for today, my first topic, the first topic that I'll be sharing with you is on the aquatic lives. Okay, aquatic lives. Okay, so this is going to be interesting. Okay, aquatic lives cover a lot of things. Maybe some of you said that, oh, aquatic life has only fish. Not necessary. Okay, aquatic lives, as I listed here, okay, you can see in the slide, they are comprised of phytoplankton, zooplankton, fish, invertebrates, reptiles, amphibians. Those are what we mean by aquatic lives. Yeah. Okay. Because why I cover all these aquatic lives, because you will be able to see by the end of the topics, the end of our webinar today, how important are these lives, the aquatic lives to the aquatic ecosystem in the mangrove. Okay, so first of all, okay, the first two aquatic lives, those are phytoplankton and zooplankton. Okay, these are microscopic. Yeah, these are microscopic lives that you cannot actually see them with your naked eyes. To look at them, okay, you need microscope. Yeah. Otherwise, I think the most you can see is phytoplankton. I think is a little bit impossible for you to see with naked eyes. But some of the zooplankton, if you are trained enough, you can actually see them. But they are very small. Okay, I'm not so sure many of you have experienced looking at things under the microscope. Yeah, maybe you have a laboratory, science laboratory, where you use microscope and look at things under the microscope. So when we say microscopic animals, these are the animals. These two, you can call them, generalize and call them plankton. Okay, planktons are microscopic animals. They are source of food for the other species in the aquatic ecosystem. Okay, phytoplanktons, they are what do you say? Green plants, microscopic green plants that can be found inside the water, whereby they actually photosynthesize. Okay, they produce the food through photosynthesis, and then after that they grow and multiply. And zooplankton, as for zooplankton, the name zoo, I think with the name zoo, they are animals. Okay, and these animals, these microscopic animals, as you can see here, they live on phytoplankton. They feed on this phytoplankton in order to survive, to grow, and as well as to multiply. What I mean by multiply means they can breed, they can reproduce, they get more and more every day. So they depend on one another. So you can see the connection between phytoplankton and zooplankton. Zooplankton cannot exist without phytoplankton. Okay, so if we go further, you see the connection between all these aquatic life. So these are the planktons, and most of these plankton are microscopic, can be seen through the microscope. Okay, next we move on. Okay, next category of aquatic animals are called fishes. Okay, fishes. Okay, I think some of you, when we talk about fishes, maybe you think about, oh, fish. We eat fish. Yes, we eat fish. Okay. Okay, I do not show too many photo of fishes, but basically I show some photo of fishes. Several photo of fishes. Basically, those found in the aquatic environment of mangrove or the aquatic water bodies. Okay, the aquatic ecosystem near in the mangrove and the nearby vicinity, right? Okay, so okay, these are example of some of the fishes that we can actually find. Sorry, the slide moves. Okay, we can see on the top there, sea bass. Sea bass are commonly found. Okay, these are the sea bass is migratory species actually. They can travel from the brackish water into the fresh water. Okay, so sea bass actually they travel to the brackish water to the mangrove to breed. When they lay their eggs and then they let the eggs hatches, the young will live in the mangrove. Yeah. Okay, when they grow and they will move on to the slightly to the upstream, slide to the rivers. Okay, so we have other species as well here, snapper, okay, and grouper. Okay, I think maybe, I'm not so sure, some of you who eat seafood, you might be familiar with these fishes. Yeah, okay. Okay, so we have here, okay, I'm showing you some example of fishes that we sample. Actually, this is our actual sample. We get from one of the mangrove forests at Sijangkang, at Teluk Panglima Garang, okay, where our program for conservation and public awareness is being carried out. Okay, Sijangkang under the MEITA program. Okay, this is the top species is herring. Okay, the second species is threadfin, or maybe in Malay, it is you known is as senangin. Senangin is very delicious fish. Okay, the meat is very sweet. Okay, senangin. Okay, then down here we have millet. Okay, millet is the local call it ikan belana. Yeah, ikan belana. So these are some of the species that found. Okay, and we have other species as well. This is those we get from our sampling. Unfortunately, we are unable to continue with some of our work due to the COVID-19 pandemic. So for now, these are the species that we get so far from our sampling site. Okay, this is brackish water catfish, or the local call it ikan duri. Yeah, ikan duri. So okay, the next one we have Mr. Mud Skipper. Okay, Mr. Mud Skipper. These fish, they are very what do you call that? Fun sun. You know, they love the sun, especially when low tides. These fishes, you can see them jumping on the mangrove muds, sunbathing. Yeah, a group of them, they will sunbathe. Okay, those are mud skipper. Yeah, mud skipper. Okay, so I just show you some species of fishes, and because I have other species that I need to cover, aquatic species. Yeah, the next group of aquatic animals we have here are called invertebrates. Invertebrates means these are aquatic animals that without backbone. They are not bony, they don't have bones. Yeah, okay. I will show you photo of example of invertebrates. Okay, so invertebrates. Okay, I think everybody familiar with this. Yeah, am I right? I think everybody equal.
Yes.
Yeah, delicious seafood. All right. Okay. So we have different species of prawns. Okay. And in particular, the top one is a freshwater giant prawn. Giant freshwater prawn, sorry. Or you call it udang gala. This udang gala actually lives in the freshwater. But, you know, this udang gala, they travel to the mangrove to lay their eggs. Okay, with the hope that when the eggs hatches, okay, the small baby prawns will be able to live in the mangrove feeding on, guess what? They feed on the planktons. That's why mangrove is very important. Okay, not only the udang gala, okay, but other prawns and fishes as well. They depends on the planktons, the phytoplankton and zooplankton as food. So can you understand the connectivity between the fishes, the invertebrates to the planktons? Yes, there is the connection, okay? Next we have, wow, this is one of the expensive seafood, okay? I think most of it eat mud crab, eat crabs, okay? If you go to restaurant, it will cost us like, for the mud crab, I think is 80 ringgit for half a kilo, yeah? Mud crab, if you go to restaurant, it's expensive seafood, yeah? Okay, so unless you're allergic to crab and prawns, these are the most popular seafood in the restaurant, yeah, in the restaurant. So children, what I want to say is here, when we talk about aquatic ecosystem, it's not only the species that is important, but you can see that it provides food for us as well. Okay, it provides food for us. We have fishes, we get sea bass, we get prawns, we got crabs, yeah, on our table due to the existence of the mangrove. Yeah, so you can see how important is the mangrove. But then if they do not have food in the mangrove, okay, the mangrove is not suitable for them, they will not be able to survive. Yeah, okay, so there will be we will have less seafood in the restaurant. Yeah, okay, next group. Okay, I'm not so sure if everyone eat oyster, but oyster is considerably quite expensive seafood as well. It is nice when you bake them with cheese. If you eat oyster, it is nice. Okay, some believe that eating oyster can give you supplements of minerals, yeah, from the oyster. Not only from the oyster, from most of the seafood, yeah. Okay, I give you example of oyster here. These are invertebrates. This group are called mollusks. Yeah, oyster, cockles. Oyster is called tiram. Yeah, in Malay they call it tiram. And then cockles, we have our kerang. Those staying in Sitiawan, Perak. I think they have a culture. This cockle in Sitiawan. Yeah, in the mud flat in Sitiawan. Okay, so Malaysia is one of the main producer of cockles. Yeah, in the world. Okay, next we have green mussel down here. When we talk about green mussel, not your muscle, yeah. This is food, not your hand muscle. All right. Okay, so these are called mollusks, and we have some more. All right, we have conch. And we have scallop. Okay, mentioning about conch and scallop make me go hungry. Okay, I hope everybody has taken their lunch earlier. Okay, anyhow, conch are exotic food, okay, usually served in certain restaurant only. This conch is very popular in the US and as well as in Taiwan and China. This is a quite costly seafood, yeah, okay. Only is not available in all restaurants, but only big restaurants serve conch. If you like something chewy to bite, this is considerably quite nice to eat. Yeah, of course, scallop is very nice and it's expensive as well. Okay, okay. So we have, I think, basically cover the group of invertebrate. Oh, yeah. Okay. Not to forget, I'm sharing with you this photo we took during our photo of samples that we took in our sampling site at Sijangkang. Okay, so the first fella is all covered in mud, whitish covered in mud, so we cannot see the coloration. But down here you can see the red one. I believe this, I think, is a female fiddler crab. Okay, the difference between the male and female fiddler crab is that if it's a male, it has the same coloration, but one of the claw is bigger than the other one. So that means it's a male. Yeah, macho. One claw bigger than the other one. So that is a male fiddler crab. Yeah. Okay. So the red one, I believe, is a female fiddler crab. So we have yet to identify this. Okay. So we will continue our sampling after the pandemic. Okay. So these are the things. Oh, we have another one. Fortunately, we don't have this one, I think, in Sijangkang. We have not come across yet. But for your information, this is the animals that I think this picture is taken from one of the research team in Sarawak. Okay, I'm not so sure you have heard that Sarawak, some of the Sarawak brackish water river are infested with crocodiles. Do you know what actually happened? Okay, while these crocodiles are coming up, people will be able to see them. Okay, and stories of they come into village and attack people. Okay, basically what happened, they do not have enough food in the water anymore because humans somehow or other have overexploited the aquatic ecosystem. Either they over harvested the aquatic animals, no more food for crocodiles. Otherwise, what happened is that the water resource in the river, near the mangrove, is not suitable for other aquatic species to live. So this what you call that? This is reptilian, yeah. Okay. Basically, they in search of food, they come into village. So this is one of the impact that happening right now. Yeah. Okay. So okay. Not only that. Okay. I would like to also share with you my experience on the what you call that, other species. I'm not able to add too many photos because I think the presentation will drag a long time. But you are welcome to ask any question later. Okay, so species like horseshoe crab, as mentioned by the chairperson just now, one of the advisor for World Horseshoe Crab Research Group. Okay, whereby I should say Malaysia should be proud because in the whole world, we only have 4 species of horseshoe crab. Do you know what is horseshoe crab? Horseshoe crab is the blancas, you know? Blancas. Blancas is invertebrates. Yeah, Blancas is invertebrate. So the horseshoe crab, okay, in the whole world, there are only 4 surviving species. Tell you the truth, okay? They are considered fossil animal. Only 4 surviving species, the rest has extinct. Yeah, so this means out of 4, 3 are found in Malaysia. Yes, surprisingly, 3 tropical species are found in Malaysia. So we should be proud. So some of these horseshoe crab are basically found in the mangrove area. Yeah, the mangrove is one of their habitats. Yeah, all right. So there's my my background on the horseshoe crab. Okay, based on what I shared just now, you can see that we have high diversity of aquatic species in the mangrove. Yeah, we have a high diversity of aquatic species in the mangrove. Yeah, so so that is the what I can show to you. So there are so many more, but unfortunately I'm unable to share everything with you. Okay, we have other topics to cover for today, but we have Q&A much later at the end of the webinar. You may ask, yeah, you may ask, okay, at that time. So, okay, finally, for the aquatic slide, for this particular topic, so the aquatic environments actually, what we can see, it provides the aquatic species a suitable ecosystem, yeah, for their life, for their livelihood. Okay, it become a shelter for them, and for some species, it become a breeding ground, right? So this the importance of this mangrove, you know, the aquatic environments in the mangrove. Okay, so I think any questions at this point of time? Anyone? Any questions? How's the sharing? Is it too heavy? I hope it's not too heavy. Anyone? I can take one question if you have questions for these particular topics on the aquatic species. Anyone? Don't be shy. Don't be shy. No question? Who is Nur Aina? Nur Aina Christina? Do you understand the sharing just now? Is it too heavy for you? Nur Aina Christina? No, I think she's quite shy. How about Nur Iman? Nur Iman Atilia. Okay. Nur Iman Atilia? If you want to speak, I think you have to unmute yourself. So I did so that I can hear you. Anyone want to try? Anyone have question? You can unmute yourself and speak up. Anyone? Any questions on the aquatic species? I saw just now when I was presenting, I saw somebody have questions. Yeah, Miss Fatin, anything, Miss Fatin?
Tadi ada yang raise hand, Aina Arisha.
Ya. Apa dia tanya?
Dia raise hand. Ada soalan ke daripada Aina Arisha? Ada soalan tanya doktor, how about siput sedut? Can we find this species in mangrove area?
That's a question from who is that?
From My Mastura.
My Mastura. Okay. She asked about siput sedut, is it?
Yes.
Siput sedut is the long siput whereby sometimes certain restaurant they chop off the end of the the tail of the siput sedut is spiral looking. They chop off, they steam it, and then when you eat them, you suck the siput, the flesh. That's why they call it siput sedut, right? Okay, so yes, it can be found in mangrove area. Okay, but it all depends on the condition of the mangrove. Is the mangrove, the environment is healthy, you can find a lot of species in the mangrove. That's why I mentioned just now that mangrove ecosystem have the most diversity of species, not only aquatic species, terrestrial species as well. Yeah. Okay.
Doctor, there is another question.
Yes.
From Loh Yan Ki from SMJK Hua. The question is, why no got clip found in ecosystem of mangrove?
Why? Why not kulit found? Okay. Law, is it? Law? Okay. Very good question, Law. Okay. To tell you the truth, I'm not an expert in clip. Okay. But to my knowledge, I'm just sharing with you, yeah. To my knowledge, most clips they are found when there are mangroves. Although in some places, somehow the population is much less. Okay, so if you want to see clip, you have to go to specific specific mangrove, which they have a tour, and then you have to go at the in the late evening where is darker, then it's beautiful. I've seen. I think in where's the place in Tanjung Karang? Where's the kampung? What is that in Tanjung Karang? It's Kuala Selangor.
Yes.
Yes. If you want to see clip, you should go there. Google it and you'll find the location. Contact the organizer. But right now, I'm not so sure you can travel. Okay, especially if you're not vaccinated. All right. So, but I've been there. It's a nice place. You can see, but you have to book the tour for clip. They provide boats for you. You can stay in the chalet. Very nice. Yes. Yeah, it's natural light at night. Yes, Miss Fatin.
There is another question from Hafiz Rashid. Is there illegal hunting for aquatic organism in mangrove?
Illegal hunting of aquatic organism in mangrove. Okay. What's his name? Hafiz. Yeah. Thank you very much, Hafiz, for the question. Very good question, Hafiz. Okay. So basically, some mangrove reserve. They are considered reserve forest. Okay. You cannot enter. But some mangrove are open to the public. Okay. So people, when they actually hunt, okay, they are not the local community there. Okay, where they actually hunt the aquatic animals. We call them poacher. Yeah, poacher. Yeah, okay. They are illegal hunter. So of course, I think they are conservationists. I think MNS may be involved in it also to protect the animals, either territorial or aquatic, in the conserve for mangrove forest. Yeah. Okay.
So another good question, Doctor, from SIGS Dennis Kopo. Yeah. What is the difference between alligator and crocodile?
Okay. I have to ask the expert in crocodile. But anyhow, okay, just to share with you, what we call that, I think basically what we have in Malaysia are mostly called crocodile, I think. Yeah, okay. One is salt water, one is fresh water. So if it lives with both fresh water and salt water, maybe you can call them crocodile or alligator. Okay, so basically it refers to, in general, it refers to the reptilians, the one well, we generally known as crocodiles. Yeah. So, but if you're a scientist, you really have to differentiate between the salt water and also the fresh water. All right. This question from where? Just now?
From Hafiz, from Dennis.
Dennis. Dennis is from
SIGS.
Okay, thank you very much, Dennis. Okay, I think Ms. Fatin, we have to stop now. We continue with the question letter. Otherwise, we will have a lot of questions. And you keep giving me good question. Okay. All right. Okay, let us move on. I think we took a break already. Okay. So let me see, where am I? Okay. Okay, next topic I'll be covering. Okay, this slide is basically prepared with the help of one of our water quality scientists, Mr. Nur Azri Zain. Okay, unfortunately, he's unable to join us today due to commitment, whereby he needs to do another presentation somewhere else. All right. So as part of the team, I'll be presenting this part of the topic. Okay. So let me see. Okay. So this topic I'll be covering on the water resource. Yeah. Okay. Just now I mentioned about the aquatic life, right? So now we're going into the water resource. Water, we talk about water. Okay. Because when we talk about aquatic life, we need water. If no water, forget about aquatic life. Forget about aquatic life. All the aquatic life will go extinct. Yeah. Right. So water resource. Okay. So you see a beautiful pictures of the aquatic ecosystem within the mangrove. Yeah. Within the mangrove here. Okay. So basically, as I mentioned just now, when there's no water, okay, there will be no life in the aquatic environments. Okay, so not only the aquatic environments, but the terrestrial lives also depends on the water resource. Yeah, the terrestrial life. The mangrove itself, they still need water. The animal, the terrestrial animal that lives in the mangroves on the ground, they also need water. Yeah. Okay. So that's why water resource is very important. Okay. So when we talk about water resource, okay, in order to sustain life, we need to maintain good water. Good water mean that water have good, it's a good quality water. Okay, good quality water. Okay. When we talk about good water quality, we talk about the condition of the water. Okay, the characteristic of the water, either chemical, physical, biological. Okay, so what is the condition of the water? Yeah, what is the condition of the water? I will not go into depth on the water quality. Anyhow, okay, I'll be sharing with you some of the water parameters which we scientists or aquatic biologists feel these are the major water parameters. You know, we call them water parameters because these are the parameter that measures the water quality. So I listed only 5. There are so many, but I selected the most important, especially that support aquatic lives. Yeah, that support aquatic life. So I listed here salinity. Okay, salinity. Okay, I just go a brief on the salinity. Okay, just to share with you. Okay, salinity. When we talk about salinity, Anybody know what is salinity? Anyone? Do you know what is salinity? Anyone? Do you know what is salinity? Very quiet. Very quiet.
Don't know.
Don't know. Okay. Yes, Hafiz. Thank you very much, Hafiz, for answering. Hafiz, then I will share with you about salinity. And not only salinity, about the other parameters that are listed down here. All right. Okay. So salinity is referring to the salt content in the water. Yeah. Salt content. I'll give you example. Very good example. If you go to the river, you taste the water. You don't taste any salt. It just tastes like you're drinking water. If you go to the mangrove, you taste the water in the mangrove. It has a little bit salt. If you go to the sea, you go snorkeling, somehow you got the seawater. You will vomit the seawater. It's very salty. That's what we mean by salinity. Salinity in Malay they call kemasinan. Kemasinan air. Tahap kemasinan air, which is very important for the aquatic species. Yeah. Okay. Although I do not advise you to go to the rivers and especially in the mangrove. Yeah. To dip your hand and try to taste the water. Okay. You can, but then aside from the species the aquatic species that I mentioned just now, the planktons, the fishes, the invertebrates, the amphibians, the reptiles, guess what they have in the water? Bacteria. They have bacteria. So if you think you are not so strong, do not try to drink the water in the mangrove area because you'll be taking in bacteria as well. Well, I'm not going to cover bacteria here because I'm going to cover only those important species that are going to sustain the life in the aquatic environment. Okay, so now we have salinity. Next, we have temperature. Okay, temperature. What is temperature? I think everybody knows what is temperature. If you are sick and you have fever, oh, mak, panas kepala, panas badan, mean you're having fever, demam. Am I right? Am I right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, this is what I'm referring to about temperature, meaning that how hot, how cold. Okay, how hot, how cold. So what happened? We live in a tropical country or tropical climate that we get. I think basically our temperature fluctuates between like when it's cold, when it rains, maybe the temperature will go down to 24 degrees Celsius. And when it's too hot, okay, when it's too hot, it will go up to 33 degrees Celsius. Yeah, that is where the time you turn on the aircon. Hot, you cannot stand it. You start sweating. Yeah, okay, this is about temperature. Yeah, so the fluctuation of temperature actually play an important role for the livelihood of the species. I will explain overall how these parameters intertwines affecting the aquatic lives. Next, we have the parameter called pH. Anybody can tell me? I think some of you have learned in the school. Tell me about pH. Maybe I can learn something from you. What is a pH? Hafiz, want to try?
Relate to acidic or alkaline.
Yes, very good, Sophie. Hafiz, very good. Very good answer. Okay. So everyone, did you hear that? pH is related to acidic or alkaline. Okay. All right. Vanisha, you want to say something? No? And then there's another person, you want to say something? No? right. If no comment, I proceed. Okay. As Hafiz said, share with you just now, pH is referring to acid and alkali. Okay. Water pH is very important. Okay. If the pH of the water become too acidic, it may be dangerous for the fish, harmful to the fish. Although when it becomes too alkali, it's also not suitable for the fish. It will disrupt their physiology. I will not go into detail about physiology. There's a lot of things to discuss when we talk about pH and the physiology of animal, how it affects the animal. So anyhow, it's good enough for you to know pH is referring to acidity of the water, meaning acidity or alkalinity of the water. Okay, so usually, okay, in general, most aquatic species, they dwell between pH closer to neutral. Okay, anybody can tell me what is neutral pH? Anyone?
7.
Yes, very good. If we have quiz, I think Hafiz, you can get a prize already. Thank you very much for Hafiz for helping me. Yes, 7. 7 is the neutral pH. Okay, most of the animals have no problem living in pH 7. Although when it go down a bit, go down to 6, it become more acidic. If go up to 8, it become more alkali. So for us, I can say, I can share with you roughly for aquatic animals, the suitable pH will be around between 6, 7, and 8. Yeah. That varies. Okay, there are some fish species can actually live at pH 4.5, you know. Okay, but I'm not talking about that now. Okay, so we are talking about pH in general. Okay, so acidity and alkali. Next, oxygen. Who doesn't know oxygen? We need oxygen to live, right? Am I right?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so us, we are human, we are terrestrial, all right? We live on land, on the ground. We don't live in the water. Anybody lives in the water? Any Aquaman here?
No.
No.
Don't have Aquaman here, right?
No.
All right, you're lucky we don't have Aquaman. Okay, so anyhow, we human, we need oxygen. We need oxygen in the air, like what we have, we breathe now, we breathe in is oxygen. But fish, they need oxygen in the form of dissolved oxygen. You know why I said dissolved oxygen? The oxygen that dissolve into the water. This is what we call dissolved oxygen. If the oxygen is on the in the air, we just call it oxygen. But if the oxygen inside the water, we call it dissolved oxygen. That's why usually if scientists in the aquatic field, we always use to measure the water quality by measuring the dissolved oxygen. Okay, because fish usually and the aquatic animals, they stay inside the water. So they do not crawl around on the ground except for some of the dual system fish, like how to say this one, mud skipper, okay, and some certain species, catfish, they can actually take air, they take oxygen from the air, all right? They take oxygen from the air, but fish need dissolved oxygen, yeah? They take oxygen from inside the water, all right? So that is required for the fish, yeah? So oxygen in the water, they need a level at least 5 milligram per liter inside the water. It's okay, no need to worry about that. I don't think there's a quiz on that. It's good enough for you to know about dissolved oxygen. Finally, I'm going to talk about turbidity. Okay, I guess this turbidity is a little bit difficult for you. Okay, but let me share with you. Turbidity is referring to Yes, somebody?
Mangrove Education.
What is
Yes.
mango?
Water parameter.
Yes, it's one of the water parameter. Okay, turbidity is referring to the how dirty is the water, how murky is the water.
You saw
Okay.
this too.
Yeah, so when you go to the river or you go to the sea during bright sunny day, you can see the water is clear, right? You can see the water is clear, all right? So during rainy days, you can see the river become kopi susu. You know what is kopi susu? You know teh tarik? You know teh tarik, kopi susu, coffee latte? Okay, so that is what we are talking about when we're talking about turbidity. It measures how dirty is the water. This turbidity is contributed from, there are two sources that cause the water become dirty. One is the particles. There is sometimes muds. When it rains, the muds go in, they become teh tarik. The water, the river become teh tarik. The mangrove become teh tarik. All right. So become tea. Okay. What do you call that? Tessie. I love tessie, but not the mangrove tessie. Yeah. All right. So then the source, one thing is the particles, and the second one is due to excessive plankton. We call it too many plankton, too much of them inside the water, so you cannot see through. So that causes turbidity. Yeah. Why turbidity is very important parameter for aquatic life? Imagine the fishes need to breathe. They take oxygen, and the water have a lot of particles. And the fishes, they breathe with the gills. So what happened? They breathe through the gills, but a lot of particles. And these particles get stuck at the gills. Then the fish do not get oxygen. They got suffocated. Yeah. So that's how turbidity play a very important role. Okay, we consider it's very crucial for aquatic biologists to measure the turbidity in the water. All right. Okay, I show you some pictures here. Okay, that contribute to the fluctuation of salinity and temperature. Okay, rains, tide water, you know. So when it rains, the water in the mangrove area become less salty, less saline. Okay, salinity drop. Yeah, salinity drop. It become less salty. So when tide water come down, tide rise, the mangrove is filled with water, and this one comes from the sea. Oh, that time we have a lot of salt. That means salinity increase. Okay, not only that. Okay, when it rains, also it contributed to the fluctuation of temperature. So when there's no rain, it's hot. When there's rain, the temperature drop, become cooler, right? Okay. So then there are other things that affect the change of temperature, contribute to the change of temperature is climate change, El Nino, excessive tropical weather, you know, El Nino. Okay. So these are the things that contributed to this salinity and temperature. Okay, so pH and dissolved oxygen. Okay, as I mentioned just now. Okay, so any changes in the pH, dissolved oxygen, turbidity, they will cause a problem for the aquatic animals. They will cause imbalance. Okay, then we'll find that some fishes get suffocated, some fishes die due to this kind of water parameter extreme. Yeah, extreme water parameter. Okay. This is a mangrove where you can see the, I think this is a tessie, or maybe you can say coffee latte. Coffee latte, the one you buy from Starbucks, you fry from the kopitiam. Okay, coffee latte. Teh tarik, teh tarik, teh tarik satu, roti canai dua. This is how the thing look like. Yeah, okay. Okay, so basically, I think what we can see here, okay, you imagine the aquatic life living in the ecosystem where the water get polluted, yeah, where water got polluted. And then it causes problem for the animals. Yeah, it causes the aquatic life to get extinct. Yeah, okay. So all this, I think, contributed by a lot of things by our own activities, human activities. Okay, we throw sewage, we throw rubbish, you know, the industry, don't forget the industry. So certain industry, they have oil spill, and sometimes they discharge wastewater into the river. It slowly flow down into the mangrove, and they have heavy metals. This is pollution, yeah. Also, agriculture may also contribute to the as a threat to the aquatics life because it's disturbed the balance in the aquatic the water, yeah, the aquatic I mean the water quality in the mangrove, yeah. Okay, so agriculture, when it rains, yeah, there are some, they use pesticide, herbicide, fertilizer when it rains. So the rains will sweep down, will bring down all these pesticide, herbicide into the river, into the water canal, and it ends up in the river mouth, in the mangrove, yeah, in the aquatic environment of the mangrove. So sometimes this cause fish to die, aquatic animal to die, yeah, okay, yeah. Not only that, I think recent case we have maybe cases whereby land clearing in at higher grounds that creates mud floods, yeah, mud floods that bring down muds. Okay, they go down the river. You know where this one will end up? This one will end up in the river mouth at the mangrove, yeah, and this will actually suffocate the aquatic animal because all the particles will how to say, make the water very turbid. So you can see now how it relates from the aquatic life to the water resource, yeah, the water resource. That's why water resource is very important. So I've reached the end of my the two topics. Before I hand over to the next presenter, Ms. Atika. So what I want to say here, as for the, you know, maybe you, everyone as children, and you be the adults in the future generation, okay, we do not live in the virtual world, although everything has to be done virtual now. But I think you still can Google when the pandemic is over, try to visit some of the mangrove area, get to know our mangrove, appreciate what we have. Yeah, appreciate what we have. And then probably from then, when you appreciate, then you want to contribute to conserve the mangrove. Okay, maybe for yourself, maybe for your children, or maybe for the future generation. So that's what we can do in order to sustain life. As I said just now, whatever that we do, human activities that will actually contribute to the health of the aquatic environment. And in this particular case, the mangroves. Yeah, all right. Okay, so I share one picture of Sijangkang Mangrove Forest. This is where our program is ongoing. Okay, at Sijangkang, okay, at Teluk Pangimagaram. I think when you all, those in Selangor or nearby, can visit this place. It's very nice. Go with your families, go for school trip, and it's a learning trip. Yeah, okay. So maybe you see us once in a while with our equipments for doing collecting sample, measuring water qualities, you know. So please say hi if you see us. All right. Okay, and these are the wood plank. I think there's about 1 kilometer wood plank at Sijangkang. You will enjoy the walk. Okay, walk slowly, look at your environment. Yeah. Okay, so this is my part. Okay, so any questions so far? Any questions so far? Any questions before you proceed to the next?
Doctor, Hafiz raised the hands.
Okay. Wait, I cannot see. Let me see. Okay, Hafiz, where is Hafiz? Maybe can you show your face?
Hafiz, you can unmute yourself now.
Okay, thank you.
Hafiz, you don't have video?
Do I have to open?
No, not necessary. Not
Okay,
necessary. Okay, Hafiz, yeah.
I want to ask you, what can we do to fight the eutrophication, or we don't have to do anything because the aquatic life will eat them, the alga.
Okay, Hafiz. Very good question. It's high level question, Hafiz. You're a very good science student for me. All right. Eutrophication. Okay, everyone. Eutrophication. I think, did I cover eutrophication just now? Okay, so I wanted to cover eutrophication, but I feel that maybe it'd be too heavy for the big age group. Anyhow, Hafiz, good question from you. Okay, what we can do to you? Okay, before I go further, I would like to explain to everybody. Maybe Hafiz know what is eutrophication. Okay, eutrophication means that excessive plankton bloom. Excessive, there's so much of plankton in the water. The water becomes so green. At times when you go to certain place, the lakes become so green. Then watch out. After a day or two, then you can see a lot of the aquatic animals floating, bloated. That, right? Due to the eutrophication. Eutrophication is the introduction or some sewage being channeled into the water bodies, into the water, giving nutrient for the water. So the phytoplankton, they get nutrient. Wow, happy, phytoplankton happy. I got strong sun. Yeah. So when I get strong sun, I can bloom, I can reproduce, multiply. So the water becomes very green. But then, okay, when water becomes green, they photosynthesize, right? Okay, they use carbon dioxide and produce photosynthesis. I think it's very basic, isn't it? Photosynthesis. When they photosynthesize, they produce oxygen. But maybe you do not know this. At night, ding, ding, ding. Do you know what happened at night? At night, when darkness approach, no, zombie don't come out. In this case, zombie don't come out. Okay, jang, jang, jang. This plankton, they will respirate. They breathe. They take in oxygen like everybody else, like us, like the fish, the aquatic animals. So when there's so many phytoplankton inside the water, they will compete with the fish. I want the oxygen from the water. The fish here also need oxygen. I want to live also, right? But what happened is actually when there's competition for dissolved oxygen in the water, the fish will suffocate. They got not enough oxygen. Then in the next 1 or 2 days, you can see the fishes floating, bloated, and they are dead on the water surface. So Hafiz, my question is to you, my question, you said that we do not need anything because the fish eat them. You right? to a certain extent, but we can actually avoid the we can avoid from having fish dying inside the water, because this nutrient is actually coming from the sewage. You know, from the sewage usually comes from the housing area that near around the water bodies. They discharge this sewage. This sewage, you know, your sabun, your shampoo, those are nutrients. You know, the waste are nutrient for the phytoplanktons. So when they get, the phytoplankton get food, they get a lot of sun, they will bloom. So they will share the oxygen with fish. Not enough, fish will die. Plankton will survive. When the fish die, they get more nutrient. All right, Hafiz, for us, our part, what we can do is that maybe we can reduce, try to not to throw, discard sewage or wastewater into the water body. Yeah, okay, to avoid fish or aquatic species, so that the fishes inside the water don't die. All right, they don't get suffocated. All right, Hafiz and everyone, do you understand?
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm sorry.
Yes.
Hafiz asked a very high level question on eutrophication. Thank you very much, Hafiz. I'm sorry for those you feel it is too high. So, but maybe when you come to university, you will understand. All right? Okay. So I think I will entertain up to here because we have to continue for the next session. Yeah. I think our next speaker, our scientist, Miss Atika, is waiting already. She's in. She wanted to tell you about genetic diversity. Okay, Miss Atika, okay, is our scientist in UPN. She's trained to analyze genetic materials. Yeah, so she will try to share with you as light as possible, so you do not get headache. All right. Okay. So without further ado, I welcome Miss Atika. You can proceed. Yeah. Go ahead, Miss Atika.
Thank you, Doctor.
Welcome.
Okay. Hi. Good morning. Good afternoon, and assalamualaikum. Let me share my screen.
Atika, sorry, before that, I need to interrupt a bit because we have another two students that raise hand. To Nur Naima and also Nur Iman. Can you write down your questions and I will raise it up during the Q&A session. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, Atika, please continue.
Okay. Can you see my slide?
Okay, wait. Yes, we can see your slide.
Okay. Okay. Assalamualaikum and good afternoon. My name is Nur Atika from UPM. So today I would like to share about some knowledge, maybe not too deep, about the genetic diversity. So at the end of this lesson, you will know about what is meaning by genetic diversity, what is meant by the genetics. So let's begin. So what is the meaning of the genetic? Genetic is a species code in the form of DNA that is passed down from one generation to the generation. For example, like because your parents have DNA that passed to you and then you pass to your son or daughter. So that's why we say that generation to generation. So why we study genetics? There are many reasons why we study genetics. For example, it's for species identification that based on DNA. So in this slide, what is the meaning by genetic diversity? So genetic diversity is referred to the diversity within a species in environment or ecosystem. So in slide here, you can see there are many of the species such as crab, shrimp, small fish, and then big fish, and many others like snails around our mangrove ecosystem. So through genetics, we will learn about the diversity of each of these species. So how? And then the focus point is how we identify species. How we identify the species of the fish, of the crab, of the snail. So basically, there are two types of method that we use as a scientist. First is the based on morphology, and second based on genetic and DNA. For morphology, it means that we refer their physical appearance. For example, like body shape, the formation of the tail, the scale on the fish. And for example, in trip exchanger, you can see there are 3 different species because they are different in body shape, in the coloration, and the size of the scale. So through that, we differentiate the species. So for the second step, using DNA. For example, there are closely resemble for the physical appearance for the species. So how we can differentiate these 2 species? So through genetics, we are able to differentiate the 2 species. Even between the same species, also we can differentiate through genetics. Is it too deep? Sorry. So for the next step, what we are doing for the genetic identification, how we identify by using genetics. First, we will go, of course, we will go to sampling, whether we are using jala ataupun perangkap untuk menangkap ketam, snail. And then after we get the sample, we will bring the sample into our lab and do for process DNA extraction. So the next step, we will do the species identification by using the DNA. The sample that we get, we extract DNA and then we get the DNA sequence, and then we will be using gene bank. So comparing our DNA sequence with the existing sequence in the gene bank. So basically, gene bank is the centralized database system that consists more than 300,000 sample level at the genus level. So we compare our results in here. So I will skip this one. Is it okay? Is that okay? Can I proceed?
Yes.
Yes.
I have question.
Yes.
Atika, you are unmute.
Sorry.
Sorry, we have one questions from Hafiz.
Hmm.
Do you want to take the questions now or later?
Let's after this.
Okay, Hafiz, yes.
So I will continue. There are traits to genetic diversity that we call it as alien species. This one not alien yang kita panggil UFO or alien from the space. This one is alien, the species that are non-native species to an ecosystem that are traits to our natural ecosystem. Mean that ikan yang datang daripada luar yang kita import atau masuk ke Malaysia, so that yang memberikan kesan buruk pada kita punya ekosistem ataupun memberi ancaman pada kita punya ekosistem, natural ecosystem, that we call it as alien species. So I will show you the several types of the alien species. Oh, here. This one is the, do you know what is the fish here? Are you familiar with it? So this one is the ikan bandaraya. Selalu kita tengok dalam aquarium, they have a sucker mouth. So we call it as sucker mouth catfish. This fish is well known and ornamental. So this fish was found from the northern South America. And this fish was brought in to Malaysia for ornamental purpose. kita nampak cantik dalam aquarium, but it will give a negative impact to our ecosystem. For here, for example, in here in Keratan Akbar ni, daripada dia ada ancam ekosistem di Johor Bahru. So, the second example is the African catfish ataupun kita panggil keli Afrika yang berasal daripada Central and Western Africa that we brought into Malaysia for aquaculture purpose. And the same with the ikan bandar raya, they also invasive to our ecosystem. Ancaman ekosistem sungai tempatan, contoh di Segamat. So when if you are accidentally released at least, it will cause the extinction of our species. For example, like udang galah, horseshoe crab, whatever. And then it will also cause the low genetic diversity. There are no diverse in our species in our country, and then it cause further threat to native biodiversity. Even worse, for the next generation, they might need to go to zoo to see our local fish species. So what we can do to conserve our genetic diversity is first, be responsible. Do not release alien fish species into the natural aquatic environment and culture in designated environment. For example, like keli Afrika, they are brought in for aquaculture purpose, so they need to kawal, jangan bagi dia release in our water body. And then in this picture, you can see there are several alien fish species that have been released by the DOF. For example, like ikan hantu hitam, ikan powerhorn, kita, keli Afrika, patin, untuk bass, and keli ekor merah. And many other species. So, do our part and be responsible. Do not release species in our natural ecosystem. So, that's all for me. Thank you. Is there any questions?
Okay, we have questions from Naiwa Yusuf. Do you want to unmute Naiwa?
Sure.
Okay, you can ask your questions now.
Hi, good evening. My name is Nur Naima Durani binti Jibri from SMK Agassi, Lahadatu Sabah. I would like to ask questions about what makes the mangrove swamps live for a long time, that they can thrive in hot, muddy, and salty conditions that would quickly kill most plants.
Okay. What? Sorry?
What makes the mangrove swamps live for a long time, that they can thrive in hot, muddy, and salty conditions that would quickly kill most plants?
I think this question is most suited to Dr. Annie or not. Atika, you want to answer that?
I think I can take the question.
Okay.
Miss Salika. Okay. Thank you very much, Naima. Okay, thank you very much for joining us. Basically, I think your question is much suited to the webinar last week, where we had Dr. Aldri explaining the mangrove, role in maintaining the balance in, the mangrove tree, how the ecosystem dynamics, So anyhow, okay, come again, Naima, what's the question again? I want to hear one more time. Can you give me the question? Naima?
Sure. What makes the mangrove swamp live for a long time, that they can thrive in hot, muddy, and salty conditions that would quickly kill most plants?
Okay. Thank you very much, Naima. I'll try my best, but I think your question is suited to Dr. Aldri, our first webinar. However, from Dr. Audrey's presentation last week, where he covers on the how mangroves survive despite the extreme conditions, that they have many capabilities. You know, they have the this root system that can survive in the water. Okay, and then even though it's flooded, and also the mangrove tree itself, the leaves, they can withstand salt. Yeah, they can withstand salt. I think that is basically what was explained by Dr. Audrey last week. So anyhow, I think Miss Zalika probably can pose this question to Dr. Audrey, so probably he can answer it more accurately. So, but for my understanding, that because mangrove trees are very special, yeah, the different species of mangrove trees, they have different roles in the mangrove environment. Yeah, okay. So
okay, Doctor.
thank you very much, Nur Naima. So I think we guess maybe can get Dr. Audrey to answer that. Yeah.
And sorry.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. Yes. So we have another question. I think this is for Atika. From Naima Yusuf. She raised her hands earlier, but she already submit her questions to me. So she asked, do alien species always a threat to an ecosystem?
Yeah, the definition of the alien species, also the inventive, non-inventive species that cause a threat to our natural ecosystem. So mostly alien species are a threat for our ecosystem.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I think Nur Iman, do you want to ask the questions? Do we have, I think we have like 1 more minutes or 2 more minutes to continue. Nur Iman?
Yes. I want to ask, since when does the mangrove live, and since when the animals came to the mangrove?
Okay. Doctor, any Atika? Okay.
Who's Iman? Is it Nur Iman? Is it?
Yes.
Okay. Nur Iman, I think the question is much suited to Dr. Audrey, because we are aquatic scientists, you know, we are aquatic biologists. But anyhow, mangroves have been there for a very long time. Yeah, mangroves have been there for a very long time. That's why we have the aquatic animals in the mangrove. Yeah, I give you example, horseshoe crab. Horseshoe crab is a fossil species. It lives through from ancient time until now for about 445 million years ago. So these horseshoe crab, they live in a mangrove. So believe that if horseshoe crab exists that long, the mangrove might have started at that time. Yeah, it might have started at that time. But anyhow, I'm not when we talk about the mangrove forest itself, aside from the aquatic lives, I'm not an expert in this field. Probably Ms. Dalika, the same question
Yes.
can ask to Dr. Audrey.
Okay,
Yeah.
Doctor.
Okay, thank
Yes.
you. Thank
Okay.
you, Dr. Iman.
Yes, thank you, Noriman. Okay, sorry, because I don't think that we can continue with the Q&A because we still have another session, right, Doctor? Yes, so we will stop at 4 by latest 4:10 p.m. I think because now it's already 3:50, so I hope that we can wrap up a little bit, faster. I'm very sorry about the time. Yes, yes, Doctor, and also Atika, you may continue.
I think Atika has finished, right?
Yeah.
Atika. Okay. So I give this to
Thank you
Dr.
very much, Atika. Okay, for sharing your field of expertise. And next topics will be covered from our scientist, Miss Fatin. Okay, Miss Fatin, she worked on pollution, effect of heavy metals on aquatic animals, in particularly oyster, and some invertebrates. Yeah. So for her PhD, I think she's going to work on microplastic effect. So for her topic, she'll be sharing with you on microplastic pollution to the aquatic environment. So Miss Fatin, you ready?
Ready. Thank you.
Good luck. Go ahead.
Hi everyone. Okay, before I start, I would like to thank you MNS for inviting us for speaker today. Before I start my knowledge sharing, I would love to see everyone here, and I would love to see them say hi. Hi to Hafiz, Samiha, Naiman, Nur Iman, Patricia. Who else I see here? Afiq. And thank you for keep supporting us and stay until the end of the webinar. I'm glad to see you guys around this time. So today, I'll focus on microplastic pollution, which is a really, really big issue in Malaysia, especially in the world. So let's proceed to the microplastics pollution. So I really hope that microplastic pollution today, for today's session, will give you like insight for everyone about our mangrove, especially that we focus today. So this is microplastic. So this is how microplastic look like. As you can see, the size is a bit smaller. So let me show you the picture and let the picture tell you the whole story. What is microplastic? So microplastic is actually a small plastic pieces, which is less than 5 mm, will pollute aquatic ecosystem and harmful to aquatic life. So where does microplastic come from? So the sources of microplastic come from anthropogenic sources. What is anthropogenic sources? Anthropogenic sources is actually human activity. For example, like we as a user, we keep throwing rubbish, plastic bottle, a single-use plastic. Kita pergi kedai, kita ambil satu plastik, then we keep throwing away. It's also called a single-use plastic. So that's how the anthropogenic sources contribute to the pollutions. How is microplastic formed? Microplastic form from breaking down plastic. As you can see here, it's actually microplastic. So it's turned to mesoplastic, microplastic, and nanoplastic. As you can see, the size is getting smaller. So what is microplastic? Okay, let me take this one. I'll put it here. So I would love to share with you a video about, you can see what this microplastic looks like.
Microplastics. Microplastics are pieces smaller than 5 millimeters. Some of them are used in cosmetics or toothpaste, but most result from floating waste that is constantly exposed to UV radiation and crumbles into smaller and smaller pieces. 51 trillion such particles float in the ocean, where they are even more easily swallowed by all kinds of marine life. This has raised concerns among scientists, especially about health risks from the chemicals that are added to plastic. BPA, for example, makes plastic bottles transparent, but there's also evidence that it interferes with our hormonal system. DEHP makes plastics more flexible, but may cause cancer. It would be pretty bad if microplastics are toxic because they travel up the food chain. Zooplankton eat microplastic. Small fish eat zooplankton. So do oysters, crabs, and predatory fish. And they all land on our plate. Microplastics have been found in honey, in sea salt, in beer, in tap water, and in the household dust around us. 8 out of 10 babies and nearly all adults have measurable amounts of phthalates, a common plastic additive, in their bodies. And 93% of people have BPA in their urine. There is little science about this so far, and right now it's inconclusive. We need a lot more research before panic is justified. But it is safe to say that a lot of stuff happened that we didn't plan for, and we have lost control over plastic to a certain extent, which is kind of scary. Together, we can beat plastic pollution. This video was a collaboration with UN Environment and their Clean Seas campaign. If you want to take action to turn the tide on plastics, go to cleanseas.org and make your pledge.
Okay, tadi semua dah tengok video ni. Ada daripada makroplastik, daripada plastik, turn to mikroplastik, dan mikroplastik tu dimakan oleh binatang aquatic animals dekat laut. So, ingat apa yang aquatic plants, aquatic animals makan will comes to us sebab kita consume aquatic animals. Boleh? Setakat ni heavy ke pasal mikroplastik ni? Boleh?
Okay.
Boleh? Okay. So I proceed, okay?
Okay.
Microplastic.
Okay. So tadi kita cakap pasal microplastic. Before that, kita kena tahu how much plastic is in the ocean for 2020. About 5.2 trillion piece of plastic estimated in our ocean. As we can see, daripada plastik tadi dia akan jadi microplastic. 70% of these debris end up in the ocean's ecosystem. It is estimated 8.3 million tons of plastic are discarded in the sea yearly. As you can see, gambar dekat sini nampak kan microplastic semua kecil-kecil. Nanti one day bila dah PKP habis, pergi ke pantai dan scoop in your sand dan boleh nampak semua penuh dengan microplastic. Bukan pasir sahaja. Nampak tak ada benda asing kat situ, kita panggil microplastic. Okay, does microplastic affect animals? Are they harmful? Yes, microplastic can be harmful to animals. How? Okay, 1/4 of fish contain plastic, which is tadi kita tengok video tadi kan, daripada plastik jadi besar, kecil, animals makan, so masuk dalam fish guts, so kita serve dan kita makan ikan tu. So actually dia sangat harmful untuk kita. So this is how it look like. Tadi ada inform yang cakap pasal ikan. So they will consume all the plastic and the plastic stuck in their guts. So this is a baby fish, as you can see. The microbit. Okay, microbit ni actually, okay, pernah tak kita ke kedai, so ada body shower ataupun body scrub yang ada pasir-pasir tu. That one is actually kita panggil microbit. So microbit ada dalam shampoo tu, bila kita guna, it will discarded into longkang, then it will be in the ocean. So oceans akan ada aquatic plants, aquatic life too. So diorang akan, yang baby akan makan microplastic, microbit. So akan jadi malformation ataupun kita panggil deformation. Kita boleh tengok guts full with the microbits and dia tak akan membesar. So similarly to adult fish, tengok kita boleh nampak dia punya microbits inside the guts ataupun stomach kita panggil. So this is how fish mistaken the color of the bottles just look like bukan jellyfish. It look like seaweed. So dia akan makan the bottles and the bottle retain in the stomach. So this is how it look like. The adult fish dia akan makan plastik ataupun microplastic like these shapes, dan kita akan ambil dan kita akan makan, mistakenly makan. So takut kan, tengok kan, kita sebenarnya kita makan plastik setiap hari. Nampak tak? It's not happen in fish. Nanti janganlah pula tiba-tiba balik, mak saya tak nak makan ikan sebab ada mikroplastik. Bukan setakat ikan je ada, dekat turtle pun ada. Dekat turtle pun, as we can see, this is baby turtle. Baby turtle, they will feed on the small materials ataupun item which is known as microplastic. So bila diorang makan, so this microplastic tak boleh keluar daripada perut mereka sebab diorang punya size besar. So diorang akan retain dalam stomach until the end of their life, dan dia akan mati. Sebab dia tak boleh makan dah, perut diorang dah membesar. Boleh? Okay, so similarly to yang baby fish tadi, kita tengok ada microbit. Microbit ni datang daripada body scrub yang kita guna tadi. So lepas ni please reduce microbit kita beli kat kedai tu, jangan beli dah. Boleh? Okay, kita proceed. So this is plastic. Plastic yang stuck dekat coral reef. So this plastic look like jellyfish. So bila it look like jellyfish, the turtles will come and eat it. the other aquatic animals too. For example, like this pandemic, cuba tengok pandemic. Banyak kan kita guna glove, kita guna mask. So this glove, kalau kita as a pengguna, kita just campak dekat ocean ataupun mangrove, it will be floats in the ocean. So what's happened? The animals mistaken them as a food and feed them. See how turtle feed the plastic for them actually. So this is how turtle start on the nest. So diingatkan ni adalah macam kelp ataupun microalgae ataupun algae. So okay, this is a tortoise. Tortoise, since plastic is not biodegradable, so this plastic was stuck into the nature more than 10 years. So what's happened? Actually, during the baby, this plastic stuck between the shell. So for the growth, as it's growth, the plastic stuck on it and it caused deformation. Kesian kan tortoise jadi macam ni sebab kita yang lepaskan plastik dekat nature. So this is how sea lion looks like. Ni bukan dipakai necklace ke apa Ini sebab ada jaring yang terlekat. Kesian kan, diorang tak boleh nak bergerak dengan laju. Okay, this is not alien species. Actually, this is a bird got plastic stuck on top of their head. Boleh tengok tu dia macam pakai crown. Tak, actually it's not wearing crown. This sebenarnya plastik yang stuck on top of the head. So this is bird. This bird bukan pakai raincoat tak. Actually the plastic stuck on top the body of the bird. You can see since the plastic bag stuck on top of their body, so the bird cannot fly. Kesian kan? So at the end of their life, the plastic item will be stuck in their stomach. Cuba tengok perut diorang penuh dengan plastik. Kesian tak? Kita makan sedap-sedap, diorang makan plastik. Kita makan apa? Apollo. Tapi plastik Apollo tu burung yang makan. Kesian kan? Okay. Does microplastic affect human being? Yes, microplastic can be harmful to human too. How? Cuba tengok. We as a user, we keep throwing rubbish, plastic bottle to ocean, to mangrove. What's happened? And remember, what goes around comes around. Whatever you throw in the ocean, it will comes back to you. So I would like to show you something interesting about microplastic. What will happen if we consume microplastic?
It's a hot sunny day. You reach out for a plastic bottle of cola. Feels good, doesn't it? But what if we told you that every time you drink cola from a PET bottle, you are reducing your lifespan by a day? Don't believe us? Let us explain how. PET bottles are made up of PET resins. A few of the dangerous chemicals used in its manufacturing are phthalates, antimony, and lead. What are these exactly, you ask? Well, each of these chemicals are infamous for their numerous health hazards, including cancer. Global research has proven that when liquids are kept in PET bottles, the same chemicals used to manufacture them sneak or leach into the liquids. So every time you consume your favorite bottle of cola, orange juice, liquor, or even medicines, you're actually drinking these notorious chemicals along with it as well. And once they enter your system, it begins attacking your body in more ways than you can imagine. Here are a few shocking facts about these chemicals used in making PET bottles. It disrupts your endocrine system, affecting your growth and development, tissue function, sexual function, sleep, and mood, among other things. That's a heavy list of health hazards for a product that is used in millions of quantity every day around the world, right? But wait, there's even more. PET bottles are responsible for causing insulin resistance that leads to high blood sugar and subsequently endless health problems attached to it. But it is also seen to cause decreased anal genital distance in male infants, which affects their ability to reproduce later in life and overall complications of reproductive systems in both males and females. We can go on and on. Let us save you some time to sum it up by saying that before you twist the cap on that bottle, stop for a moment. Think to yourself, is it really worth it? It is time to choose wisely. It's time to choose a safer alternative. And the best time to make this decision is now. No more on www.plasticmenace.com.
Okay, kita boleh nampak kan kesan plastik dekat human being macam kita. What's happen kalau kita asyik consume plastik.
It's a hot sunny day.
Okay, so kita proceed kepada microplastic exposure can cause first toxin, second skin rashes or allergic, entry to the digestive tract, harm reproductive system, microplastic particles cause cancer to the internal organ. So what you can do to reduce microplastic pollution to our environment? First, what you can do is you can recycle your plastic items. For example, like plastic bag, bottles. Kalau kita ke mall, we have to bring our own bag, our own market bag. So we don't have to beli botol-botol air yang besar-besar. We just use filter water dekat rumah. So consider the use of organic product. For example, like just now I mentioned about body scrub yang ada microbead. So rather than kita guna microbead, kita boleh guna nature ingredient. For example, like kunyit ke, macam tu. So manage your plastic rubbish properly. Okay, so before I end my session, I would love to share you one sad story about microplastic in aquatic life. So let's watch it. Okay, semua nampak tak video tadi? Boleh dengar tak dengan jelas? Okay, boleh? Anyone?
Ya, boleh.
Boleh, okay. Nak tanya, daripada video ni, apa mesej yang kita nampak? Anyone nak jawab? Apa mesej yang kita nampak daripada video last kita tengok tadi? Pasal mikroplastik. Yes, Nur Iman.
Apa ni, ikan paus ni pun dia akan pun terseksa sebab dia akan mengambil sampah-sampah tu. Jadi dia bila ambil banyak sampah, badan dia akan jadi berat, dia akan jatuh ke dalam ocean, jadi dia tak dapat nafas.
Yes, that's true. Kenapa dia rasa macam berat? Kenapa dia rasa macam berat sangat? Sebab dia buat sorang-sorang.
Sebab
Sebab kita tak boleh dalam dunia ni, kita tak boleh jaga sampah sorang-sorang je. Kita kena ajak kawan-kawan kita, orang kampung kita, orang taman kita untuk jaga sampah sama-sama. Boleh? Ada lagi? Siapa yang raise hand tadi?
Hello.
Yes. Is it Hafiz?
Yes, yeah.
I
From
recognize
the
your
video,
voice.
sambil kita melancong ataupun bercuti, kita kena jaga alam sekitar juga. As we can see in the video that the beach is polluted with rubbish. So we need to avoid throw the rubbish at the beach, or at least we can collect them when we see them, the rubbish.
Yes, that's a good point, Hafiz. Hafiz, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, that's a good point, Hafiz. Yes, true. Kita kena jaga sampah kita. Ke mana-mana saja kita pergi, kita kena jaga sampah kita. That's a good point, Hafiz. Good job. Anyone else?
Okay, Fatin, sorry.
Okay.
Because we are going to, we don't have much time now. Sekarang dah 13 minit petang. Okay, just would like to ask if we have any more session to discuss after this, Doctor, because we are going to stop at 4:30. So now it's already 4:15. But Doctor, you may proceed if you have another slides that you want to present.
Yes, that's true. So I'll pass the stage to Dr. Ini for further discussion and conclusion. Thank you.
Thank you, Fatin. Okay, everyone, we already distribute the attendance form. Please check your chat box and please actually fill in the attendance form from the Google form that we distribute just now. Thank you. Dr. Ini, you may proceed.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Zarika. Ms. Fatin, thank you very much for all these interactive videos. I think the children enjoy it very much. As an adult, I enjoy it too. Okay, understand. I need to play my part to help, make sure that we do not, pollute our environment. Okay, so I think we have reached the end. So I would like to just conclude on behalf of my team. Okay, so we have listened to aquatic lives, water resource, genetic diversity, and pollution by microplastic. So I hope everyone learns from it, and then you may, I think it helps you to understand more about aquatic lives and what are the factors involved, affecting the aquatic lives, the water quality, the genetic, how fish will get extinct if they got alien species, and how pollution, in particularly the current one is microplastic, contributes to to harm our environments, especially our aquatic environments. So I hope that lesson learned, and not only lesson learned, that bear in mind, we try to practice, what I want to say is that, be aware what you're doing every day, because actually what you do now, sooner or later, will come back to you. It will come back and haunt you. Okay, so please take notes. And then before I conclude, I think I would like to thank MNS for organizing this one in collaboration with MEITA. Okay, MEITA is our big sponsor, and as well as UPM, UKM, UITM, and any more that I forget. I think that's about all, right? Yeah, for organizing. I think we had, I think we try our best to help with the environments. Okay, and Malaysian Nature Society is doing their best to make everyone aware from a earlier generation. Okay, so my message to you: please help conserve our natural environments, so we will have something to leave behind for our future generation. So I think with that, I think Ms. Salika, I hand over the floor, the audience to you.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Annie.
Because
yes, sorry. Yes.
Another thing is that if I don't know whether I think there are some questions. So
yes, correct.
Maybe if you can give us the question, probably we can actually, I don't know how to send back the answer because times do not allow. So I think we can answer later. Maybe you upload in the MNS website or what? I'm not so sure. Is there such thing?
Yes, we can do that. I will ask their email, and then they can actually send the email to you regarding the questions. But maybe just maybe one or two questions that I received from the floor. Maybe we can answer that first, Doctor.
Right
before
now?
we start. Yes.
Okay.
Maybe we have another like 5 more minutes. Okay. Yeah, because we have a lot of questions, so I feel a bit like tak berapa senang lah lihat ada yang bertanya. Okay. So the first, I think most of them asking about the microplastic. So one of the questions, mungkin I can how to say, just do a list of questions lah. So soalan yang pertama, how about the biodegradable plastic? Will they also turn into microplastic?
Hi, thank you Puan Zalika for the question. I think the question is from Nurin Batrisha.
Yes,
right?
Nurin Batrisha.
Batrisha, hi. It's such a good question. Okay, what is the difference between biodegradable plastic and single-use plastic that we use every day? Okay, biodegradable plastics is actually kalau you tengok dia punya plastik a bit lembut, a bit kecil, a bit halus compared to the single-use plastic which is lagi tebal. Dan kalau untuk jangka masa untuk degrade, kalau biodegradable about 1 to 2 years kita dah boleh degrade dia. Tapi kalau untuk single-use plastic, it's up to 10 years pun masih lagi boleh stay in our nature. That's the simplest answer untuk adik-adik. Thank you for the question. The next question.
Okay, the next one, that means consume fish from the ocean. This is from Ezima's Food. That means consume fish from the ocean is not safe compared to fish farm. Is not safe compared to fish farm, should be better in terms of food safety.
That's a good question. Kalau kita compare farm fish and ocean fish, for the safety part, farm fish is more safety compared to the ocean because we cannot control the fish from ocean, what kind of food they eat. We cannot control that. For my opinion, I think the safest way, if we would like to consume any fish, we can just get from the cultured fish. Tini, do you have any suggestion answer for that?
Okay, just to add to what Ms. Fatin has said, okay, actually farm species, most of the farm, they give the fish pellets, okay, and the water quality in the farm are being controlled. You know, they do not throw pesticide, they do not throw microplastic in the water system, in the food. So what actually Ms. Fatin said is right. However, even the one we take from the sea, okay, they are not so bad, okay, unless you eat the organs, okay. Some usually when we get the fish from the wild, from the ocean, basically you do not eat the internal organs, right? You remove, you clean them up. So unless you eat the whole fish without cleaning, so this, I think you don't do that. But anyhow, so to the extent of microplastic pollution into the body parts of the fish, I think there are ongoing study being done, okay, because this is a current problem in the world, not only in Malaysia. Yeah, okay. So I think as long as you clean your fish, I think it should be okay. Right. Thank you very much for the question. Any more, Ms. Zalika?
Thank you, Doctor.
Okay, thank you, Doctor. Okay, I think that's all for now because I already mentioned in the chat box for everyone who wants to ask more questions, you may ask now, and then I will actually collect all the questions and let Dr. Annie and the teams answer the questions after the webinar. Is that okay, Doctor? And then after that, we will post in our Facebook page, Kelab Pencinta Alam.
Okay, that's very
Okay.
good. I appreciate that from MNS.
Yes,
Thank you
Doctor.
very much, Ms. Zalika.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
everyone. Stay safe.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you, Dr. Annie, Fatin, and also Tika for very good presentations. It's very clear, and I think that most of our attendees today, they got a lot of knowledge, especially on the fish, on the aquatic species, and also the microplastic, and also about the genetics, yeah, of aquatic species. Okay, now. Okay, now
Saya nak tanya boleh?
Sorry? Nak tanya, boleh letakkan, sorry?
Ada quiz ke?
Oh, tak
Quiz.
ada. Untuk hari ni tak ada quiz. Kita akan ada quiz pada pada 6 hari bulan Oktober ya. So nanti boleh follow, yes, boleh join sekali lagi dan juga boleh dapatkan pautan di dalam Facebook kami nanti ya. Okay, terima kasih yang bertanya. Okay. Alright, now without further ado, everyone, if please, I mentioned to you earlier, please fill in the form on the chat box, and also please, we have a survey from University Putra Malaysia. Please fill in the survey form as well, which we distribute in the chat box. And now I would like to call Dr. Evelyn, because today we are actually launching our new contest for school students, primary and secondary school students. Now I would like to call upon Dr. Evelyn. Doctor, are you here?
Yes, I'm here. Thanks.
Okay, so Dr. Evelyn will announce about this competition.
Okay.
Doctor,
right.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Thank you, Zalika. And good evening, everyone. Are you still here? Okay.
Yeah, we have another 160 attendees.
Okay. So, as what Puan Zalika has mentioned, today is the day where we will be officially launching a competition which has been designed specially for you. We have two categories. One involving primary school students, sekolah rendah from 10 to 12 years old, and the other one is for secondary school students. So I will just share with you some of the information and to encourage you also, to participate in this. Okay, so this is the details of the competition. It's called Mangrove Education Program TikTok Video Competition. I'm sure all of you would have watched TikTok, right? It's the thing to do now. Okay, so we are giving you the opportunity for you to share with us your TikTok videos, but your TikTok videos has got something to do about mangroves, okay? And don't worry, because we know that, you know, now at the moment, there is restriction of us going out and movement. So you are free to actually share with us what do you think about mangroves, yeah? So these are the details of the competition, all right? It is open to students between 13 to 19, so from Form 1 until Form 6, for you to submit a 3-minute mangrove team TikTok, all right? So you can do it alone, or you can do it in a small little group with a maximum of 3 students, all right? And of course, there will be an e-certificate provided for you. So what is the video all about? Okay, so it's going to be an educational video. So adalah sedikit elemen pendidikan di dalam video itu. And the theme is, why should we care about mangroves? Okay, mangroves, why should we care? And that should come from your perspective. Okay, we should care for mangroves, you know, because, you know, it is actually destroying our supply of food. It is making our fish sick and so on and so forth. So it's really up to you. What would you like to share? Or you can choose another theme, which maybe you prefer to share stories about your communities, especially if you are staying near a mangrove area, or if you have actually worked with a community in a mangrove area. So it could be a story of a folklore, cerita rakyat berkenaan dengan mangroves of that community, ataupun hasil-hasil yang dihasilkan daripada mangroves, for example, or it could be a personal experience of their experience in a mangrove. So it's the story from my community, all about mangroves. Or if you are the techno type, you can actually choose the theme mangroves using technology in mangroves conservation. So it could be talking about using your handphone app, you know, to capture mangrove activities, or using handphones to actually develop app, and so on and so forth. Yeah. So you can choose one out of these 3 themes. Yeah. And you can upload it into the TikTok social media. And the last date for submission is 31st September. So we have cash prizes here for winners, top 5 winners. And you can actually scan QR code for registration. So besides this cash prize for the top 5 winners, you will also be getting certificate. Yeah. So if you click into the QR code, you will be able to get more details, of how do you submit your TikTok videos. All right. Okay. So this is on the video TikTok, specifically organized for you secondary school students. All right. Now, let me also share with you, if let's say you have younger siblings, okay, you can actually encourage, you can actually encourage your younger brother or sisters who are in primary school to actually join in this competition as well. And for primary school, we have a photo poetry contest where you are supposed to take any photo of natural environment. So it could be a leaf, it could be a bee, it could be a mosquito, it could be, you know, it could be a tree, or it could be just the sky, you know, and the scenery. It really up to you. You don't have to go to the mangrove area just to get a photo of mangroves, okay? So anything natural, you are most welcome to take it. And then you can write on, if you like pantun, you can write it in BM, pantun, from 2 kerat sampailah 4 kerat, okay? Or if you like to write it in English, then it's going to be a poetry. It could be as long as a 2-line poetry, 4-line poetry. Okay, Jenny, just to say, what do you think about the mangrove? You know, it's beautiful beyond the eyes, which inspires me to do, to protect the environment. So something like that. Okay, all right. Okay, so again, the details is for students between age 10 to 12, and Mangrove Nature theme poem with a picture, must have a picture, and 1 entry per participant. All right, so we also have cash prize, and last submission is 31st September 2021. So if you scan the QR code, again, you'll be able to see the details of your participation and how to join this competition. Okay, all right. I think that's basically it from me on the competition, and I hope everyone would take the opportunity to join in this competition, because as of now, we may not be able to go on site to the mangrove to do our usual mangrove tour activity, to do our rubbish collection activity, or to replant mangroves, or even the seedling at the nursery. But this is another way where we can share with our friends the story of mangrove. Okay, what can we do to actually protect our mangroves? So I encourage you to join. All right, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Evelyn. Okay, now we are at the end of our session, but before we go any further, we want to take a picture of all of you together. Okay, can you all open your camera? Turn on your video. Sorry, turn on your video.
Oh, Hafiz.
Okay, now ada. Okay, okay, sorry. Okay, now I'm going to take a picture for frame 1 and frame number 1 ya. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Sorry. Okay, untuk frame nombor 2. Oh, dah tak ramai dah buka video. Okay, frame nombor 2 boleh buka video. Okay, 1, 2. Okay, thank you. Okay. Alright. Okay. Okay. Thank you all for joining our session today. So if you have any questions, like I mentioned earlier, you can actually write down in the chat box. Kami masih di sini dan masih lagi melihat dan untuk soalan-soalan yang diberikan sebentar tadi. Okay, thank you Dr. Annie, Fatin dan juga Atika for a very nice presentations, and also Dr. Evelyn for joining us to announce about the competition. So we are at the end of the session. On behalf of MNS, UPM and our presenter, thank you for joining us today and have a great rest of your day. Stay safe and thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay,
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, terima kasih.
Thank
Terima
you.
kasih.
Thank you.
Thank you to all the panel.
Thank you to
Thank
all the
you.
panelists. Thank you. Thank you information.
Thank you.
Thank you. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
Bye.
Bye.